making time, making memories. There's nowhere that I'd rather be than in the middle of nowhere.
So I recorded a video about how much you can safely tow with any specific vehicle, and I wanted to do a quick follow-up. We'll put a link to that video, which is also on our channel, and I've had a lot of questions about that, and I realize it's long and it's a lot of math and it's very nerdy, frankly, which I freely admit. But what I've noticed is a lot of people that are looking to buy their first travel trailer, A, already have their tow vehicle. They're not in the market to go upgrade their tow vehicle just so they can get a camper. And B, that tow vehicle is oftentimes a quarter-ton truck or potentially smaller, a compact truck or an SUV. And so I can really give you the advice that I've kind of figured out the hard way when we were trailer shopping based on weight, without the 30-minute long nerdy video with a spreadsheet. And what it comes down to 99% of the time when you're going to tow with a quarter-ton truck or smaller is you need to look at your payload capacity, which is typically on the driver's side door jamb. It'll tell you don't put any more weight than X in this vehicle. Now that includes your passengers and all your gear, and most importantly, the hitch weight of your trailer. That's how much weight of your trailer is going to have to be absorbed by your tow vehicle. So very quickly, most half-ton trucks, and they're called a half-ton, and frankly I didn't know this till I looked into this a long time ago now, when they decided to call trucks half-ton, three-quarter-ton, and 1 ton, they were referring to the payload capacity. A half-ton truck could carry 1,000 pounds. Well, now half-tons oftentimes are 12, 13, even 1,400 pounds. But whatever it is, look in the door jamb for the warning that says don't have more weight than this in your vehicle. That's what it's rated to carry, with its suspension and its power and its torque and all the other components that I don't fully understand.
Fuel too?
No. Okay. The payload capacity does not count the fluids and everything else. It's if you have your oil in it and your fuel and everything else, it's what can you safely put in this truck. And again, I'm not saying you can't go over that. I know a lot of people who tow a lot more than they should and say it's never been a problem, but I'm coming from the angle of to stay compliant with standards and frankly to stay legal, what I would recommend you buy to tow based on your tow vehicle, because that's usually the determining factor. So find in your door jamb that total weight, subtract from that what you will regularly or possibly the maximum weight you ever anticipate having in your vehicle when you go camping. So the driver's weight, passenger's weight, if you have pets, their weight. Are you going to bring a generator? Often do you go places where you're going to need that? Do you need fuel for that generator? All things to think about. Do you take a dirt bike? Do you take bicycles? Figure out the maximum amount of weight that you will have in your tow vehicle. Subtract that from the number in the door jamb, and whatever's left is the maximum tongue weight of the trailer that you should tow. Tongue weight doesn't change with dry weight of the trailer or the fluids of the trailer or what gear you put in the trailer. So that's a little trick. You can always, if you're going to be close, put some of your gear back over one of the axles of the trailer, and then it's not transferring to your truck. But again, very simply, usually your limiting factor is going to be how much can your tow vehicle have in cargo or payload capacity. So again, the number in the door jamb minus how much stuff you're going to put in it before you hook up your camper, including people and animals. That remainder is the maximum tongue weight you should be looking at to buy. So in a nutshell, after you've done that, then watch the really nerdy video links below and make sure that you're still good on towing capacity, gross combined vehicle weight rating, gross vehicle weight rating, all that other detail. But 99% of the time, if you don't go over the capacity or the payload capacity of your tow vehicle, everything else will fall into place.
Well, and as you were talking about earlier, then people can go to a dealership and be like, I need to see rigs that have a tongue weight of this or less. Absolutely. There's, at least in our experience, the first time buying a camper
from a dealership at least, or the first time buying a camper that we were worried about what would be safe and legal, because we had some experiences when we were younger in life. But it's very empowering to know yourself when you're going into the dealership. I don't even want to look at trailers that have a higher tongue weight than whatever, 800 pounds, because I can't safely tow them. It helps you know that what you're buying is safe for you and your family. It helps you guide your decision based on what you need, as opposed to what unit a sales rep may want to sell, which is generally a heavier, more expensive one. It keeps you from going into rigs that you're going to absolutely fall in love with and then find out they don't match the capacity of your tow vehicle. So
that's when you start making excuses, going, oh, it's just an extra 100 or 200 pounds, but you always are going to put more in your truck than you think you will. You're always going to, so it helps keep things better. Yeah,
absolutely. It's every truck has a tow rating. It's very rare in the half ton or smaller realm that you're going to meet that tow rating, and I believe, frankly, that gets taken advantage of. We went to several dealerships when we were buying our camper, and they said, hey, what are you going to pull with? And we told them, and they said, oh, the tow rating on that is 13,000 pounds, and they would just kind of leave it at that. I didn't have anyone come right out and say, so let's look at trailers that weigh 13,000 pounds or less. But they didn't also say, however, a 13,000 pound trailer will likely have so much tongue weight that you could never pull it if you're going to have anyone else in the car with you. So I don't want to accuse any salespeople of being dishonest, but they certainly won't share the whole truth. And the truth certainly is not, whatever your tow rating is, you should look for a camper that weighs that much. There are a ton of other factors, but again, it's 99% of the time going to be what will max out your tow vehicle's payload capacity. So if you go in there armed with that, and you know you're only looking at rigs that have a tongue weight that will leave you enough room to not max out your vehicle when you have your family and your gear, you're way, way ahead of the game. And of course, most dealerships nowadays have great websites where you can go in and filter down by every factor, including tongue weight. You can literally go to a website of a large manufacturer and say, can't have anything that weighs over this on tongue weight, and then you're just going to fall in love with the rigs that at least you have the ability to tow.
Yep.
One more thing to add about payload capacity of your vehicle is there is not a product on the market that increases your payload capacity. There are weight distribution hitches. They're very important. I highly recommend them. They do not increase your payload capacity. There are helper springs. There are all kinds of stuff that will make a smoother ride for towing. They will level out your truck so it doesn't sag, and it rides better, and it handles better, and it brakes better. Yes, airbags. All of them are great products. I can't wait to try out some of them. I've already upgraded my shocks. I use a weight distribution hitch, but they do not increase the payload capacity of your tow vehicle. For legality's sake and for safety's sake, do not get sucked into believing that they do. Do not let somebody say, well, you're getting pretty close to what you should tow, but hey, add some helper springs, add some airbags, and you're good to go. You should add those if you want to, and they will increase your ride. They will not increase the payload capacity of your vehicle.
Making time, making memories. There's no